Hello everybody. Today I'm gonna show you a simple and nice way that you can use to draw the stages in McCabe Thiele diagram using Microsoft Excel. So it's kind of continuing what we were saying last time in the previous video. So this is what we ended up doing last video, that we drew the equilibrium curve in the XY diagram of the McCabe Thiele diagram, and we drew the top section, bottom section, and the Q line, and we are now ready to draw the stages on the same diagram. So it's gonna be the same thing. You just get the 2 points on the same curve and then plot this 2 points as a line, and that's all. So the cool thing about this diagram, or the drawing the stages, that it consists of two lines. So one, if you start from the top section, it's one horizontal and then one vertical. So this is one stage. If you like do this step, one horizontal and then one vertical. So for the horizontal line, you know that you start with XD and XD, and then the other point on this line would be having the same value of Y, because it's a horizontal line, and the X would be on the equilibrium curve. So it will you can apply the equilibrium curve equation on that point. So this is what we're gonna do, and for the vertical line it's gonna be the same. It lies the first point from the previous line, and then the second point would have the same X with different Y. So this is what we're gonna do, just getting the right points from the equations. And that's why I have all the equations here. This is the top section, and these are the equilibrium curve to get Y from X or X from Y. And we have the same values of alpha, the R, the Q, everything is the same. So let's get started. So for the first stage here, it's gonna start with the XD and XD. So again, I'll put everything in terms of these values that I have here. So if I do any change, then it would be reflected directly to the stages. So for the horizontal line, we said it's gonna have the same Y. So this is gonna be the same point. And for the X, it lies on the equilibrium curve, so it will apply, you can apply the equilibrium curve on that point. So actually we have the Y and we need the X, and this is the two forms of the equation. Just some simple mathematical manipulations, you'll get this X is a function of Y. So what we're gonna do is to calculate X from Y, what we have that we have here. So it's Y divided by alpha, and then press F4 plus 1 minus alpha again, and then F4, and this is multiplied by Y, and here we go. So this is the first part of the stage. For the second part of the stage, what we need to do is we'll starting from the last point that we just calculated. So this is the same point on the or the end point of the first line of the stage, and then the second point would have the same X, because it's gonna go down, so it's have the same value of X. So this is what we're gonna do now. And for Y, it is gonna be calculated from the operating line of the top section, which has this equation. This is multiplied by X, I'm sorry, this is X. So let's go and see. It will be R, and then press F4, divided by, we don't need this bracket now, so it's R divided by R plus 1 multiplied by X. I need to have F4 here, and at the end you will have plus XD, which is this value, and then press F4 divided by R 4 plus 1. So we're now good. So you have the first stage done. And the cool thing about this this way that I'm doing now is that you will write the formulas so that you can apply them for any other stage. You will just copy and paste the stages or the equations to any stage, because they are all calculated from here and from the equations that we already know. So let's see how we can draw these stages. So just to keep in mind, you'll have a lot of lines on that diagram. So imagine you have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 lines, and now you will add 2 lines per stage. So let's say if you have 7 stages in the top section and 7 in the bottom, this is 14 by 2. It will be 28 plus 5. It will be like 30 something. So you will have a lot of lines. So you need to name the stages or each line so you can easily tell which line is this. So I'll call it top 1A. So I know it's the top section. This is the first line of the top section, and here we go. And for the second one, I'll make it top 1B, and it will be this X and this Y, and here we go. So it's now done, but of course you'll not see anything because it's very narrow space. But if you get closer, you'll see here you have the 2 lines. So they're kind of thick and like have weird colors, but this is like how Excel draws the line, and you can get take care of this later. But it's very useful here because it's very narrow space, and if you draw this with your hand, it will be very difficult. So that's why I like to do it this way. So let's see, if I want to make another stage, I would just take these, take a copy of them. But just one thing you need to do just for the second stage, you don't need to do this anymore. So for the second stage, it will start from the point where the first stage ended. So this is all what you need to do, is to put this x equal to the last x and this y equals to the last y, and then everything is done. So you can now select data, add another line. So we have top 1A, top 1B. It will be top 2A, and the x values will be these and the y values will be these, and here we go. And I'll add another one. I'm gonna call it top 2 B, and the x values are these and the y values are these, and here we go, and we're done. So again, it's not very clear. Let's get closer and see how it looks. So yeah, it looks great. So I'm not gonna go for all the stages now, so I'll just do two stages in the top section and two in the bottom section, and you now know how to take care of everything. So for the bottom section, this is, I'm sorry, this is bottom section. So for the bottom section, it's gonna be the same. You start with xw and xw, and again I'll take everything as a function of these inputs, and you have the same idea, but in this case you will start with a vertical line, so it will have the same value of y, and you need to calculate x from the equilibrium relation. So it's um, I'm sorry, you're gonna calculate y, so it have the same x, and you wanna calculate y from the equilibrium relation, which is gonna be alpha, and then press F4 multiplied by this x divided by 1 minus 1 minus alpha, and then press F4 multiplied by x, and here we go. So you have the first part of the first stage, and the second part would be the same. You have this and this, I'm sorry, yeah, so now you have this is starting from the end of the first line, and for this case you have the same x, I mean the same y, I'm sorry, they have the same y because it's horizontal line, you're going with the constant y line, and now you want to calculate x, and x actually is gonna lie on the bottom section line. The bottom section line has an equation that we do not know because we got the bottom section line by drawing this point and this point, so we don't know the slope, we don't know the intercept, but we know these 2 points of the bottom section. And actually it's simple now to get the slope and intercept of two from 2 lines on a straight line. So to get the slope, it's the difference between y's minus difference between x. So this is what I'm gonna do now. This minus this, so it's delta I minus delta x. And for the intercept, it is pretty simple. You know that the straight line equation is y equals ax plus b. So if you want to get the b, then you are gonna do y minus ax. So I'll pick any one of these. It's gonna be y minus a multiplied by its x, and of course it's going to be negative because we know that the extension of this line should meet somewhere here. So now you know the constants of the straight line equation of the bottom section. So if you want to get x, it will be y minus b all divided by a. So this is y uh, equals y minus b. This is the intercept, and then press F4, and this is divided by a, and then press F4. So we have this equation now, or this first stage in the bottom section. So I'll select data, I'll add, sorry, it's bottom 1a, and its x values will be would be these, and the y values are these, and I'll add another one. It is bottom 1b. These are the x values and these are the y values, and we are done with the first stage. Let's get closer to see how it looks like. um, so yeah, it is still, the lines are thick, very thick. That's why I recommended last time that you use very thin lines, so you can see easily which line is going to which place, especially in these narrow areas. So uh, okay, so let's try the second stage. As I said, you're gonna copy everything, uh, and then you get these equals to the last 2 points in the previous stage, and select data and add bottom 2a, and these are the x values, and oops, I'm sorry, these are the x values and these are the y values, and then add bottom 2b. These are the x values and these are the y values, and we are done with this now. So again, let's go here and see what's going on. So it is very nice. It's drawing the stage very very nicely. So actually I'm not gonna go for you need to go by drawing stage by stage till you reach the q line intersection with the top and bottom section, which is gonna be kind of repeating the same thing. And the for me the worst part is just plotting, because this would be just for the calculation, just copying and pasting without doing any more calculations. You will just copy and paste these 2 or 3 rows, and then you have whatever number of stages you want. So plotting would be the longest thing. So I drew actually the final shape. So I made 7 stages in the top and 7 stages in the bottom, and how it looks like, I did everything with the colors and the thickness of the line, so it looks nice. So it will take little bit of time, but it's worth it actually. So the cool thing about this diagram now is that you can change anything in the inputs that you have, and it will automatically reflect in the diagram with the stages, the top section line, bottom section line, everything. So let's assume the XD is 96%. So here this everything was shifted to the 96, and you have actually some excess diagrams. And actually, as you know, the Excel doesn't understand that you are plotting stages on McCabe Thiele diagram in this distillation process. It just plots the line that you ask it to plot. So you need to delete the lines, add more lines, whatever thing you need to do. Like in this case, if it's like 3%, then you'd have some more stages here. In case you have smaller alpha, let's say like 2.8, then yeah, you'll have closer thing. So it's actually nice because you would see how the changes will reflect in the stages, and the number of the stages that you have, and it's cool. I like the way that you can do it this way. So now you can play with the diagram, plot everything, change any one of the inputs, do whatever thing you want, and it will in no time change in the diagram. So imagine if you're doing this manually, then it would take forever to change one thing or one parameter in your diagram, and then replot everything. So this is everything for today. Hope it's useful for you. Thanks. Bye bye.